Good afternoon, I'm Kamal Georges. Thank you so much for joining us. Top of the news this afternoon, anticipation is building as the Prime Minister is expected to make a full statement on the controversy surrounding the proclamation of Section 34 of the Administration of Justice Act. In a few hours, the Prime Minister will address the post-cabinet media briefing as she seeks to explain exactly why government moved to proclaim Section 34 ahead of the full proclamation of the bill in January next year. Ministers Jack Warner, Herbert Volney, and even the Attorney General have all sought to explain what the proclamation of Section 34 was necessary in clearing the backlog of cases to allow for the rest of the legislation to come into effect. However, the proclamation of Section 34 gave UNC financiers, businessmen Isra Galbaransing and Steve Ferguson a window of opportunity to petition the High Court to have their fraud cases dismissed. With the PNM leading the charge, the issue has been on the front burner for the past 2 weeks. Now, civil society, the trade union movement, and the business community all calling for answers as they believe the early proclamation of Section 34 was not done in a transparent manner. They have all demanded answers, and now the country awaits the Prime Minister's statement on this particular issue. The Prime Minister admitted that she has taken her time to probe the incident and will provide an explanation later on this afternoon. CNC3 understands the cabinet meeting begins sometime at around 1:30, and it is expected the Prime Minister may address the nation later this evening. Well, Public Relations Officer of the PNM and Attorney at Law Faris Al-Rawi says the public must not be fooled about the Clause 34 debacle. Speaking on the CNC3 early morning show, Senator Al-Rawi pointed out that while some ministers are calling for the issue to be put to rest, the wheels of justice are turning. He says even though the Section 34 has been repealed, the fact remains that claimants are still attempting to have their cases dismissed.
I sat in the criminal courts as well in the High Court, and I watched application after application in relation to Section 34. There is a move amongst those persons who presented the Section 34 applications to have them consolidated before one judge. The courts are buzzing. I was on a habeas corpus application yesterday. The magistrate made observations in relation to when eventually positions came back before her after the High Court had dealt with it. Again, raising the issue of Section 34. The prosecutors are talking about it. The ripple in the system, for those of us who see it live in court, is staggering. And the problem that the government has created for Trinidad and Tobago is that this is something which we don't quite yet appreciate the consequences of.
Al-Rawi says the opposition, and by extension the entire country, must be told the truth. Accusing the Prime Minister of issuing a discourteous statement explaining her silence, Ms. Al-Rawi wants her to admit to her mistakes.
When the Honourable Prime Minister has something to say, and to use Minister Warner's words, has finally found her voice on a very public issue, then it is important for her not to offer scalps to the nation, but to give a thorough explanation as to what happened, tracing it back to its origin.
And an anti-money laundering expert and attorney David West fears the Section 34 controversy may have cast Trinidad and Tobago in a negative light. West told the CNC3 early morning show that such a controversial piece of legislation does not augur well for the country's image and could eventually affect business.
Transparency list. And now that this matter has come to the fore, the international community will be looking at us even closer to see what we do and how Trinidad and Tobago comes out of this, you know, and what does the government say, and how the Prime Minister's explanation this afternoon will be very telling to where we go and how well she has dealt with it to elude the fears of the population that it was not a conspiracy and that it was just a genuine mistake by the Parliament.
West says he finds it strange that government did not include white-collar crime in the vital piece of legislation. He says such a move could affect the country's Financial Action Task Force ratings, but admits that including white-collar crime would not have been a vote catcher.
It looks very bad on the whole country that this section was attempted to be passed by the government. I don't know if it was done deliberately. I'm not, in the cabinet, but it looks very bad on the government that a conspiracy was hatched to free certain persons.
Well, switching now from the Section 34 controversy to fiery protests in the heart of San Fernando this morning, as hundreds of residents say they have been without water for more than a week. Residents of Independence Avenue, Ramsaran Street and Embarcadero blocked roads and burnt debris. They tell us they are completely fed up with the situation. The affected areas include 2 4-story housing developments, and residents say their children are unable to attend school, while others have not been to work in days. They claim that hundreds of gallons of water are being wasted on a daily basis through burst water mains in the area, and they are being deprived of a basic necessity.
Send me 2 water trucks so we can at least get some water to pull the tank and thing and hold on. If you come and explain and say, well, all right, you know we have a problem, it might take 4 days. People are sent down here, nobody down here is done, you know. We have educated people here. We just need for you to send 2 little trucks with clean water, not the kind of water we're getting right now, so we could full up and people could bathe and think that's what we're looking for.
The residents are appealing to Works Minister Emmanuel George, Minister of Water Resources Ganga Singh and Councillor for the area Anthony Ramkisoon for help.
This is how water treating me. This is how the full water to bathe. Since Saturday, we have a drop of water in Ramsar City, the whole of Broadway. Who bathing happy? I want you to understand. I will like Ganga Singh to a bathe for 9 days and all the children and wives and feel this. A little problem is only a stone throw away from water.
The Banking, Insurance and General Workers Trade Union is today voicing concern about a statement released by the Employers Consultative Association on protests by teachers during their ongoing dispute with the Chief Personnel Officer. The ECA said it was an offence under Section 69 of the Industrial Relations Act for teachers to strike. Begu says the ECA statement is unjust, unbalanced and insensitive. The union says it is aware that the teachers' union had